Hello everyone, this is a presentation to show how utilizing agile mindset in data analytics team and the framework that I show here is a Scrum framework. The titles that I try to cover in this presentation includes analytics and data science, very brief history, why agile mindset is appropriate for data analytics and what challenges we can overcome with this mindset. A Scrum team for data analytics. We'll explain very briefly about the Scrum, organizational level changes, and validation assumption, and measuring objective and key results, and leadership style with the focus on data analytics team. Analytics and data science in modern organization plays a very significant and pretty important role nowadays. But we should be aware that ambiguity and volatility is the characteristic of this world as well. The pace of change is accelerating and it's too fast. Um, how we would be able to know this world, this volatile and this shaky world, because understanding the world is the main problem that organization want to solve to gain more profit out of this situation. Data science is a data-centric approach and utilizes computational and inferential thinking to understand the world. Um, why agile mindset is appropriate in data analytics and how we can overcome the challenges by agile mindset. Um, Customers, we have to accept that customers' needs nowadays are very volatile. And they don't have a very long-term uh, vision about the future because the market is changing very quick. From the other side, technology also changing very quick, so they provide a more advanced algorithm or technology to analyze the data and big data with machine learning. So data storage also from the other side is growing because of the accumulating or gathering more and more data every day. So we are generally in a VUCA environment. We are the characteristic of this environment is vulnerable, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So all of these situations guide us to use a model or a kind of mindset to overcome this, and agile is very suitable for this kind of environment. Uh, to apply agile mindset in an analytics team, we use an Scrum framework. In this framework, we have three main roles in the team: a Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Development team. Product owner is the main person to in contact with the customer and the stakeholder and business owners, and a Scrum Master also has a view connection to the business owners, but mostly in connection with the development team. SMEs also, there are other resources of information that development team can access to their knowledge by Scrum, by help of a Scrum Master. Um, the two main roles are Scrum Master and Product Owner, and uh, we have different kind of meetings in the Scrum approach, which is like providing the backlog information in a very high level sprint planning, and then we have stand-up meetings, which is very frequent, maybe a couple of them in every week, and then after finishing the first batch of deliverable part of the project, we have a sprint review planning meeting, and we evaluate the result by help of product owner and the customer feedbacks. And finally, we have retrospective meeting, which is very useful meeting to show that what problem and what total positive and negative aspects we encountered during that sprint. Using Agile in analytics team has some organizational level changes or impacts. For example, in our organization, we have four different Agile analytics team, all of them using Agile mindset, Scrum framework to provide actionable insight for organizational executives. Um, if we help if we provide a more effective and efficient way for the executive, uh, the impact on the organizational level would be more obvious or significant. So, in agile mindset and Scrum, especially a Scrum framework, we have good feedbacks from sprint review meetings and also retrospective meetings, and sharing the results of these meetings among the four teams will help uh, the general or overall performance of the team to provide more accurate and in shorter time um, chunk of projects to implement the analytics services. How we validate our assumption in performance of our services using a Scrum framework or Agile. We have to know that the main part or the core is focusing on a golden circle, why, how, and what in every and single meeting that a Scrum team has with the customer or stakeholders. Our customers are internal, they are executive and high level management in the different departments of the organization. To ensure we understand our customers' problems and needs, product owners they have multiple meetings before starting the sprint with them to understand exactly what they want for that specific small chunk of the project which the sprint is supposed to implement that. Um, a sprint review meeting is very useful to show the performance of our team in that sub project or a small chunk of project. If we needed to tune our approach for the next sprint, in the sprint review, we will notice that and we will detect it and we will tune ourselves for the next sprint. Retrospective meetings are also very useful to detect and resolve the internal and external issues as well as knowing the positive factors that we need. How to set the objectives in analytics team when we are in a Scrum uh, framework. Um, our organization is an educational organization, and we have annual plan, and the annual plan has some objectives in aligned with the 5 year plan of the organization. The objectives of our analytics team are defined in a way that to help the organization to achieve the objectives in the annual plan and 5 year plan. I just want to give you an example how it works. For example, our organization as an educational sector want to improve the acceptance rate and reduce the attrition rate of the students. Um, uh, Analytics team can set the objective to how to measure the pass rate, which is representation of the acceptance rate, and the fail rate. If we define these objectives for ourselves, then we can provide a real-time situation of the pass rate and fail rate to the decision maker of the organization to see the situation, the current situation in real time, as well as comparing the results with the same period of time in the previous years to give them an overall better view that they are going to which direction in these quality measures. How we can measure the analytics team objectives, which I defined in the previous slide. We can define them by dimensions and metrics that play the role of the key results in our teams. For example, in the previous example, I said we want to improve the quality of education. We should define the number of cards. Cards are the visualization part of our output, showing the graphs and bar charts and other visual tools to show the data, and metrics that can be shown in those cards. So by counting the number of metrics easily, we can keep the we can measure the objectives, how many metrics we needed for that total objective for the organization, to achieve that objective of the organization, and how many of them have been completed in our team. So we will have always a ratio which is can be shown in the percentage, and it's very easily measurable. And to be fair with the different metrics, some of them are simple, some of them are difficult to implement. We have to consider a weight to when we want to measure them. We cannot look at all of them in one eye. They need a weighted measure. Finally, about the leadership style, generally the servant leadership, our experience shows this model of leadership is the most acceptable style for the young data scientists and data analyst teams, because this kind of leadership provide a friendly, informal atmosphere for the developing and Scrum team generally. In a very flat structure, lack of the hierarchy and formal bureaucracy will provide a more acceptable environment for the young generation, and they feel more convenient or feel more in their home, and to fulfill the task, and we can use their creativity better if we provide this environment for them. That's why servant leadership is our choice, and we are trying to implement it as much as possible. Um, Finally, references. I provide you the reference for Scrum, very simple and beneficial references there. Digital leadership course that I try to to you to get more skill in the leadership, and also the two emails provided that to contact me if you are interested to share your ideas or have some questions. And also, I want to say that I'm very interested to involve MBTI character typology with agile mindset. I think these two are actually very useful for each other. They help each other to improve the performance of the team much better and more productive. Thank you very much for your attention.